Well, we've got some incredibly weird stuff to be happening to a franchise that we thought was pretty much dead in the ground. Yes, like something to start off our 2018 with is the talking of a series' like revival, and that is Shaman King. And yes, we've already talked about this series before this year. The more of the other different reasons to say that this series was pretty much dead and that the franchise just had nothing else left to do with it, but we've got an interesting announcement that makes me really ponder this series' future, and let's just get into this, because this is just like what's been happening to this franchise for the longest time has just been a very just weird, interesting conundrum that's finally going somewhere. So Shaman King is getting a brand new arc, like for its whole series, and it's interesting how they describe this as an arc. They're not saying it's a sequel, this is a new like spin-off manga, this is like something, they're describing it as like, hey, it's just coming back. And like a lot of us are thinking, okay, did they just get this guy to come back like after the whole like debacle with like everything that happened with Rurouni Kenshin? But no, this is something that apparently was planned for a while. There was a teaser going on, which a lot of us are thinking, oh shit, you know, it's going to be a Shaman King anime, is it going to be something on there? Because there were talks about it for a while, and then it disappeared, and now we're getting this, and it's going to be published in Shonen Magazine Edge, and that is now being serialized in Kodansha, which Kodansha handles a bunch of stuff like Fairy Tail, like it handles Attack on Titan, Seven Deadly Sins, so not only is it leaving Shonen Jump, but it's going to a different magazine, and there's just a bunch of shit to get into with this, and that they are going to be providing like more details in the future about this, but people are a bit perplexed by this because one, this is from what we get to see, that this is Yo in his original outfit from like the first volume of Shaman King, so people are like, what the fuck is that? Is that just like a nod to the series? Like, is this a reboot? Is this like, what is happening? Is it like a continuation from like the ending of the series? Like, so we're gonna get into this, alright? Because Shaman King has one of the most weirdest fucking histories ever, with how much shit this series went through, from its manga to its anime to its semi-sequel slash spin-off to cancellations to continuation. Like, there is a bunch of stuff with this. So let's start easy first and let's talk about the manga. The manga went on, and you know, it did its thing. It was pretty popular for a while, and then the final arc happened, and it just lost steam. When the tournament happened, this is where the series lost all of its steam. That like people just stopped caring about Shaman King, and they rushed the fuck out of there. Even in the original like volumes that came out in the magazine, they just skipped fights, like important fights that are built up for like chapters upon chapters, and they just skipped them, and that wasn't even fixed until the actual volume releases came out. And the series came out, and a lot of people were like, man, that last arc was really bummed out. The anime like covers a bit of this tournament and doesn't even fully wrap it. They just have their own fucking ending, so people are raging about that, and just like, yeah, wow, we just solved that problem. Yeah, it's a shame because Shaman King's ending is like, it's fine and all that. Like, I remember going back to it recently and being like, that's a fine ending, but compared to like other series that we've seen, like it's a more decent ending than like a lot of more modern shonens get these days. Okay, so you get that. Then there's Shaman King Flowers, which is the sequel with Yo's son in it, which this thing was in a different magazine. The magazine itself got canned due to low sales, and the continuation to this was just left in the wind. I remember I was reading this and it was just like, yeah, so we're just ending it very randomly, where the characters are just stuck in this weird fucking like time, like it was, I remember it was like some dude in a fucking airplane, and there was like some shit with like World War, like it was fucking weird, but it was in no at all part to end, and it was just like, oh fuck, the magazine is gone, we've just got to end it here. And then it was like, oh, we're gonna look to see the future of this series, and it's like, what's happening? And then also the author had Ultimo, which was a thing that he was working with Stan Lee, and I personally haven't read it before, so I haven't really got anything like to say about it. I do know that it did end in like, I think late 2015, so and I think he's done one or two anime roles as like a character designer, so it's a weird ass fucking history this series has had. Like, it has had bad luck with its original manga. It has a like not that great like anime ending for the most part, although it has a really catchy ass fucking English tune. It's had a talks about an anime, but the manga author didn't want it because he couldn't get the original voice actors back into it and the original soundtrack. So he was like, nah, fuck that shit. And now he's like, alright, I'm gonna do a new Shaman King, and it's gonna be in a completely different magazine. So it makes me wonder, like, did Kodansha had to like fight for the rights with this, where it was like, we would be interested in doing this, but like it would be like only Shaman King though, not any other series, because I like to point out, since Ultimo, when he just did the art for that, he hasn't done anything new, and even when he's done a couple of one-shots, it's just been his real last work was Shaman King Flowers, and I believe that stopped continuation in like 2013, like, so it's the same thing with like the Rurouni Kenshin guy, where it was just like that all he's really done through his history, apart from like one or two other series, and it's like ever since like the big hit, that was it. And like I know, like, it's a weird thing to say, like I know we've had the Kenshin news, and you know the guys are fucking, if that stuff was true about when the allegations of him having children born, then he's a disgusting fucking person that needs help. But Shaman King guy is just like, this is all he's had for a while, and I just still weirded out by like the Kodansha thing is changing on. There's a new arc that's happening. There's like a bunch of different fucking details, and I thought, honestly, this was a series I was like, this series is, I guess the series is just dead. Like, and honestly, I was kind of expecting, oh, he's gonna come back with a new series, but I guess, hey, if it works, so if anything, I will admit I am very, no, I would say excited. I am peculiar about what the fuck's happening then with this series. Is this, like, what's gonna happen? Are we gonna continue Flowers? Is this just gonna like mix into its own thing? Like, what the fuck happened to his son? Like, and also as well, like, are we gonna retcon a couple of things in the manga? Like, it's gonna be a weird ass thing, but they describe it as a new arc, so I'm kind of thinking that it's not going to be Flowers, but it's going to be before the final chapter, and there's just going to be some few little things afterwards. So it's just going to have to wait and see. If it's Yo at the end of like Shaman King, like final chapters, him as an adult, then that's awesome, because Yo as an adult is a fucking cool ass fucking design, and I want to see him as an old, like, as a fucking like father and shit. So that would be really interesting, but it still baffles me. So go on. I can't wait for the rest of this year. We're getting like a bunch of series coming back, like, and like talks about like people starting new work, so fuck it, I'm down for it. But Jesus, I want to see what this is all about, because this is a good way to start the year, if anything. So that's all for me. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.